guys, good morning. It's May 20th, 2021. I'm Kimberly Jolly from Fat Quarter Shop, and we are on day 20 of FQS Stitch Mania. Thank you so much for joining me on Thursday morning instead of Wednesday. I'm going to kind of run through and show you what I've made this week, and I will start with this one. This is Hey Pumpkin. And on this one, this is a pattern that came out first in Stitch Quarterly, and I am just using some Floss, and it only uses 4 threads, so that's really nice. And I am almost done on this one. I kind of cheated a lot on this one. So the pattern, you know, if you draw the line, you can take 4 sections because there's the middle line. So down here I just have this little section to go. And I'm not sure how I'm going to finish this one, but I really do like this one. This one is, I'm stitching on 20 Count Cork Prairie by Lori Holt. And I really don't like to stitch over 2, but this one's been totally fine. The holes are big enough, and if I was going to stitch over 2, I would definitely do this. Again, it's been easy and it's not been hard for me. I thought it was going to be a little bit hard, but it hasn't been. So this one, let's see, I'm using 3 strands over 2. So my back is a little bit more messy because when I start, I can't do the loop method. I have to go over previous stitches. So it is a little bit messier, but I do like that I'm just using 4 flosses, and I like that at least on this one, I've got a lot of headway. I've just got to kind of fill in right here and I'll be done. The reason I kind of cheated is when I go right here, I'm a little bit concerned that I'm not in the right spot. So I do like to go all the way down and make sure that I'm at the right spot here. So that's kind of why I did that. And then you can see here, I just need to fill in. So the way that I did this is I would do 1 stitch all the way down a curve and stop. 1 stitch all the way down a curve and stop. And then you just fill in, and then that way you don't have to think. And so that's kind of why I have the little half stitches here. So that is my first project. And this one I didn't cut down. I just kind of left it the size it was. I probably should have cut it down. I just didn't, for what, I don't know for what reason I didn't. I just didn't. So that is Hey Pumpkin. And I'm stitching a total of 11 projects, and I do have 4 completed, so that's pretty awesome. The next one is Fresh Cut. And this one was also a Stitch Quarterly pattern. And I just have my bitty board, and I just keep my floss on it. And you can see that I didn't put the blue back on. I think I lost, oh, I know why, because I couldn't find the card to put it back on. So I'm just going to use up the rest and then put the rest over here. I couldn't find the card that I had. So this one I had divided up in 5 sections. So I had divided it section 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another row of this. And this one I was able to work at a baseball game, and so I went ahead and made this one. So this week all I have to do are the 2 leaves going down, and then I might add a little bit, so I just have to do these 2 leaves, and then I might add a little bit of these. And I'm just stitching this one on 14 Count Feed Sack by Lori Holt. It's just a plain Aida. It doesn't have any modeling or anything. It's just a plain Aida. And I am using leftover classic color works that I had left over from previous Stitching with the Housewives patterns. I didn't want to have to buy anything for this one. I do think my green right here, my dark green, it might be a little too strong. But Kevin said it looks good, so I'm going to leave it. I did think about pulling all of that out, but he said when it's done, he thinks it'll look good. So that's number 2 for the week. And that's nice that I also kind of cheated on that one, so I don't have as much to do. The next one took me over 5 hours. So this one was more intense, and I actually misguided you on accident. I actually told you the wrong part. So this is our mystery sail away stitch along, and I just kind of have everything thrown in my bag. It's kind of a mess. And I thought this was part 3, but this is actually part 3. So this took me almost 6 hours actually. It took quite a bit of time, but it's really beautiful. And what I did is I did the whites. So I kind of did the gray. I did this little section, moved down, did this little section, moved down. This is actually 3 grays. But when I got to the red, I didn't want the red to bleed. So I jumped from the gray to the white, and I outlined all of the white. And then I outlined all of the gray. And then I did the red. Did the same thing down here. Did all of my white and then filled in these darker colors. I was just afraid if I put all that red and then I started stitching that the red would pull through. So that's probably why it took me a little bit longer, just because, you know, I had to triple count and then just try to fill in all the navy at once just to save a little bit of time. This one right here is bigger. So I do think this will probably take me maybe 7 hours, 8 hours, but it'll be really awesome. So this one I'm using 14 count Aida Touch of Blue by Witchell. And I'm using the called for color and cotton floss. And then the next one is actually finished, which is super exciting. I am making all of the sampler of the months by Country Cottage Needleworks, and so I finished May. Let's see. That one took, okay, so this took me about 8.5 hours to do the whole thing. I didn't change any of the colors. I just used the normal classic Colorworks. I used 16 count Beautiful Beige that came with my club. And on this one, the only back stitch that was called for was the windows, but I just decided to not add it on any of the others, so I'm not adding it here. So this one was actually nice because when I was done, I was done. I didn't have to go back and add all this back stitch, you know, in different sections. So that was really nice. And in June, I'll work on June. So I'm kind of working on them as the month goes. I did want to let you know the frames that are meant to go with this by Family Tree Frame Company should come in about 2 weeks. She said she's going to ship a shipment to us this week. So if it ships this week, it'll be here the week after. So we are very fingers crossed those frames will be here soon. So that is my May. And then my Stitchy Stars. I love this one. This one has been great because I have been able to work on it at baseball, and I always need something where I can see. So this one I worked on twice this week. And I just leave my floss in here loose. And on these, both of these, what I did is I do all of the white, and then I did all of the pink, and then all of the light blue, all of the navy, then all of the red. So, and then this one doesn't have any light blue in it, but it totally is fine because it's in the center. So these will all have light blue because I did notice that. And I'm going to make this one again with a Christmas theme in 2022. But these, let's see, these take about 2.5 hours, not very long. And when you fill in all that white, it's really nice because then you don't have to think as much. I can tell from the camera though that my stitches are not that perfect. Like right here, you can see it's kind of messy. And that's okay. I'm doing it at baseball, so they're just not going to be as nice as if I was sitting there with a light, you know, with a magnifier. Nobody else is going to notice except me. So that is Stitchy Stars. And then the next one, oh my gosh, I made a big old mistake last week in the video. So this one is So Blessed by October House Fiber Arts. And I taped my pattern together just because I didn't want to have to worry about where the pattern started and stopped. So I taped it together. And this one has my bitty board in it. Everything's kind of fallen off, but most of my bags have bitty boards in them. I thought it was so clever, and I put the word top, but it's not the top. This is the top. So thank you so much to Ashley Monroe and several other people who emailed and put comments, because I would have totally done this upside down. So this one, I divided it up into 4 parts, and all I have left to do is the spools. And so like these 3 spools are the same colors. These 4 spools are the same colors. And then these 3 are the same colors. And then there's text. So this week I'll probably do these spools, and then the week after do this part. And I am stitching on this 14 count Aida Pale Gray Gingham by Fabric Flair. And I love it. I really like the variegation look that you get, and the way that you get that variegation is every other row is a different color. And each of these spools use 2 colors, and each of these use 2 colors. But yes, huge thank you for telling me that it was upside down. I mean, if I would have done it the other way, I guess it wouldn't have really mattered. I would have eventually caught it when I went to do the words, I think. But then I thought, well, I should probably take that out. But then I thought, nah, it's fine. But that's me trying to be, you know, organized and not being organized. And then some of my finishes. This is the Stars and Stripes, and this is part of Calendar Crates. It's the mini. Oh, sorry. This is the free one that went with another pattern by Priscilla and Chelsea, and I am going to put it in the top of a 3-tiered tray. So this is a free PDF, and I'll tell you the name of the pattern in a second. My other one that I finished is my May sampler that I just showed. And then this one is Home. And I will tell you who the designer is on this one. Let's see. I've already forgot. This designer is Rabbit Valley Studio, and I used some other colors. I used Deep Blue Sea, Bamboo, Eggshell, and Ribbon Red from Weeks Dye Works. Well, actually, no. Those are all from Classic Colorworks. And then the DMC is 3753. And this was made as part during baseball. So I can kind of remember 2021 baseball, because that's mainly what I used. So this is Priscilla and Chelsea. This is Rabbit Valley. And then another one that I have finished is, it's not like finished because I still have to do all the other months, but this is my monthly markings, and this was the May. And the Stars and Stripes is part of the Proud to Be an American downloadable PDF pattern. It's the additional free one, so that's where I got that pattern. So now I'm gonna just answer questions on any of the stuff that I just showed you. A bitty board, I will show you what a bitty board, it's B-I-T-T-Y board. You can either make them, we have a video on our channel, our quilting channel, on how to make them. They are designed by Lori Holt. So she made these for cross stitch. She has 4 different sizes. 3 of them she uses for quilting. They're 10 inches, 18 inches, and 14 inches. So those are for your quilt blocks, and these are for cross stitch. So when you're stitching, what I do is I put this on top of my dog, or you could put it on your side, like the armchair of your chair, and then you just put your thread on there, and you just kind of leave it, and then it you know, it's not as likely to fall off, see, because of the batting. And there's a lot of people out there now doing them, but Lori Holt is the original designer of these. Can you stock the Halloween markings pattern from Heart in Hand? Yes, we can. Where do we find the bag you just took out? Okay, so the bags I just took out, I will show you who made all of them. Okay, this bag is part of the Gingham on the Go set that we sell at Fat Quarter Shop. This bag is the Sail Away pattern that you can buy at Fat Quarter Shop, and both of these you can cross stitch on. This bag was given to me as a gift from Layla May Designs. They're now two separate companies. One is called Stitch, etc. And one is called Verses and Violets. They're both Facebook groups. So that was given to me as a gift from them. And then this one, Priscilla and Chelsea gifted me, but like I said, that company, Stitch, etc., and Verses and Violets made those for me. Formerly Layla May. And then these two bags are from Goose Design, and she has an Etsy store, and you can buy from her Etsy. Did Kimberly get a new shirt? Yeah, I did. I got it from Talbot's, where I get all my clothes. I have a question. I have a whole bunch of silky 12-weight thread. Can you use this for cross stitch? Yes, you can. And I would direct you to Hands On Design YouTube channel. She does a lot of sulky, and she's done some videos on how you use it, and you don't have to separate the threads or anything. So I would definitely check out her channel. I think it was about 2 years ago that she did a video on how to use it and different tips with it. So yes, you can. Hi, Kimberly. Could you tell me what size the middle part of Kaleidoscope pattern is? Yes, when we get to that section, I can. I'm going to probably have to measure it with a ruler. Will you please show how you did the individual green stitches in Fresh Cut? Yes, I can. So on the front, there's 2 stitches above each little flower bud. And I just traveled. So, and the reason, this is, this fabric is dark enough. Now, would I do this on white? Probably not. But from the front, you can't see it. So I did kind of, I think I probably tested and figured it's okay. And I kind of decide that based on how much time I have. You know, if I had a lot of time, I could have pulled the thread under, came back up. Pulled the thread under, came back up. I could have been super OCD, but I wasn't. Did you just say you put a bitty board on my dog? Yes, I did. So what happens is, my dog actually loves it. So I sit in my chair, and then my dog sits right here. He's tiny. That board is not. He likes to be covered. So he either has a little blankie, because my kids have a lot of blankies and they cover him up. So they kind of taught him to like that, because he always has a little blankie on him. So I put it on him, and then it makes him less likely to jump off, and he actually really likes it. If he doesn't have something on him, he'll be looking at me like, where's my stuff? Even in the bed, he likes to be covered up. How do you feel about Aurifil floss? I love it. I like that it is thinner. For me, it does not knot up as much, and I love the little containers that they come on, the little wooden spools, and I like that I can display them in my sewing room, and it looks cute. So yeah, I do like Aurifloss. Do you carry the pale gray gingham cloth and other counts? Yes, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit, because it just came in this week. Will there be another stitch series like Prim from Lori Holt? So she has a ton of stuff in the pipeline. So I can't say if there's another one just like it, but I mean, the sky's the limit there. What's the name of the monthly you just showed beginning with a snowman? That is called Monthly Markings. So I will show you how the pattern comes. So this pattern is by Heart and Hand. We do sell a set of all 13, or you can buy them individually. So this is a pattern for the border. She considers the border this part and all the individual frames. And then individually, she sells them. They're all the same size. And what we did is we did a Kimberly color version where we have converted, and all of that information is on the blog. Our blog is called The Jolly Jabber. And so this is the color conversion that we did. So we put the original colors that Heart and Hand has, and then we put the new colors. And as I stitch, I usually put a little check mark, and it tells you all the way through. Now, if you want this printed out, if you buy the thread pack, this comes in it already printed out on a nice, really nice cardstock. So if you want to make it just like us, these are her colors. They're darker, and I'll show you mine again. Mine's a little bit, I don't know where I put it. Oh, thanks. Right there. So that fabric, actually, let me tell you what fabric that is. I think it's Venetian stone. Let's see, page 5. So this is the only way I can keep track of what I do. Let's see, yes, 14 count Aida Venetian stone. And it's just a really big piece. Okay, Pat is asking, that was the best tip, pulling your floss out from the end that has the number. I never knew. Thank you. Oh yes, I learned that from Google, the internet. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Kimberly, do you have any tips on organizing your day to get so much sewing done? Any tips? Yes, I actually organize my day. I have a day where it's like I need to be at work by this time, and I'm very organized in what I need to get done. I have lots of spreadsheets. I have lots of these little books. I have one of these for cross stitch. I have one for quilting. I have so many spreadsheets, it's ridiculous. But I do plan my day. Like I'll think, okay, do I have any fabric meetings? Do I have any Notion do I have any meetings? And then I figure out from there what else I need to arrange so that my day is planned. So just lots of spreadsheets, lots of books, and I just hold myself very accountable. If you hold yourself accountable, you will accomplish a lot. Please share your journal showing your farmhouse Christmas thread choices, okay? I can show that, let's see, number 12. I don't have it with me, it's actually at home. But, okay, so I'm using bamboo, black coffee, licorice red, pebble beach, trail dust, 4-leaf clover, gingerbread, and perfect pie crust. And I am stitching on 16 count Beautiful Beige by Witchell. What is the frame for that? Monthly markings. We had that custom framed in Austin and just picked a frame. You could just take it to like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. When will the Calendar Crate Club by Stitching with the Housewives be mailed out? It already mailed out. So if you have not received it, I would email service@fatquartershop.com and we can look into why it hasn't shipped or give you your tracking. Do you have a place where I can find the white frame for Shine On? That was also a custom frame, and that was just a custom frame. Kimberly, please tell us if you're on track with all your Mania. I am. I'm actually on track. I am behind on one item, but it's not part of Mania, and I'm going to show it to you in a little bit, and I'm actually going to finish it right after live stream, so I won't be behind. What weight of Aurifil thread do I use? If I'm cross stitching, I use Aurifloss. And I will show you how it looks again. So it comes on these little spools. And it's nice because when it comes loose, I just put it, you can make it a lot neater. And then when they're done, you just have the little wooden spool, and I just keep them for decoration. And if I'm quilting or sewing on my sewing machine, I use 50 weight. What is the difference between 14 and 16 count? I'll show you right now. These are different manufacturers, but same idea. Different colors and everything. Okay. So visually, the only way I can think to show you is if you put a ruler, this is your 0 mark, and this is your inch mark. Between here and here you have 16 squares. This is 16 count. Over here, between here and here, you have 14 squares. So you have less squares, so your design will be bigger. So 16 count, your stitches are smaller. 14 count, your stitches are bigger. 16 count, your piece will be smaller. And 14 count, your piece will be bigger. I prefer 14 count. Now I'm doing 16 count here just because on that one I didn't want to change anything and I wanted it to fit the frame. So I just kind of left it. But if I have a choice, I will always choose 14 count. Would Venetian Stone Aida work well with Winter Rose Manor stitchery? Let me look real quick. So Winter Rose Manor, I don't know what that is. So I will have to figure out what that is. I don't know what that is. Tell me what designer that is, and then I'll go to the next question because I don't know what designer that is. How many projects in a book? 50. So I'm already on 40. So if you look, I'm already to 40. And what I do is once I start a project or pick everything and it's kitted, I put it in here. Now, if there's a number over here, that means I've finished. And then as it's complete, I just finish. Okay, with a needle. I think that Venetian stone would look nice. I guess we should order that pattern. We had it at one point, so we'll restock it. Let's see. So I think it would look good. I don't know if it would be the best though. On Sail Away, why do you not have a chain border on the bottom? That's a design choice. So just a, design choice. If you wanted to add it, of course you could, but it's a design choice. And when you see the final design, I think it'll make more sense why it's not at the bottom. Good morning from Argyle, Texas. How was your trip? It was great. I was gone 24 hours. I'll show you some pictures in a little bit. How do you start when you are not using the loop method? So I just keep a tail in the back and then stitch over it 3 to 4 times and just cover it up. Kimberly, I want to know what tea you order at Starbucks. Okay, I order a venti black iced tea, extra ice, no water, no sugar. Hello from Phoenix. My question today is I'm having problems inserting the needle when there are multiple stitches on the bottom or the top. So I would use either a smaller needle like a 28 versus a 26, or I would do stick and stab where you pull all the way up, go all the way down instead of trying to do the motion of the sewing method, and that'll probably work better for you. How much do you generally use for framing a border, spacing between the stitching and the frame? So I usually give myself 2 inches around when I'm stitching, and I usually have my framer leave half an inch to 3/4 inches around, depending on how big the frame is. And so it's just that's about what I use. I think 1 inch is too large. When you use variegated floss, do you do 1 stitch at a time or go back and forth? So variegated floss I don't use, but I do use hand dyed. And hand dyed, you're supposed to do 1 stitch at a time and keep 2 strands together, and you get more variegation. I actually don't do that because I just don't. So I just do kind of whatever is fastest, and but that's not the traditional way. So we have a super chat. So Piggy says thank you from Kathy Mazzarelli. She says thank you. So thank you. Thank you for watching. I'm going to kind of go into the next section, but I'll keep answering questions. I wanted to show you Kaleidoscope. So I'm going to show you these again, finished, and I will answer that one question. So we did have a question on what size the center is. This is stitched on 25 count. So the center on this piece is 2 1/4, 2 3/8 actually. If you just want, I think that's what the question was. So this pattern is in the book with these 3 flosses, and this one also is 3 flosses. So I'm going to show you more in the book. The book is going to come out in late June. So, and this is just, I mean, it's not gonna look like this. It's gonna look much nicer. But in the book, we give you the cool version and the warm version. Those are what I just showed you. But we also give you different colorways. And these were all put together by Lori, and there's 3 different flosses: center, middle, outside. So what we decided to do is put together a thread pack. These were all hand selected by Lori. So, for example, for her lavender colorway, she has 316 in the center, so I'll find that one. This is the center. 3347 in the middle. And then on the outside, she has 3727. So that's in your thread pack. But if you wanted to do the forest colorway, the center would be 501. The middle would be 07. And the outer would be 3813. So she's put together all of these threads that all match, and they're kind of like her colorway. So this is a pack of 20 flosses that are mentioned in the book, and like 347 is used in a couple of colorways. This is just a starter pack, because when you make the design, you actually need 2 skeins for the outside color, 2 skeins for the middle color, and 1 skein. So this is a starter pack, but what you can do with this is so awesome. You can pick your colors. So I've gone ahead and picked my colors from here. So I picked this color for the outside, which is 347. So I had to buy 2 skeins. So if you buy the pack, you would just add 1 more. I picked 761 for the center. And then for the inside, I picked 930. So you can see I took this pack and made it my own, and I bought 2 for the outside color, 2 for the inside, 1 for the center. And I am going to stitch on Fabric Flare Antique White 14 count. It actually came in my Fabric Flare Club for May 2021, so I've already got it. So this is what I'm going to use. And when you get your Fabric Flare Club, we do give you ideas on what patterns would look good on it. So that's my plan. And now that I have that, I'm going to show you the next thing. Now the flea market flowers, the little thread holders, floss keepers, we have a little bit left. So we made a floss keeper for Kaleidoscope. So she just put the colorway that she picked on here, and there's going to be 1 of these. And so on this floss keeper, this is if you were going to do that colorway. And so you've got 2 for the outside, 2 for the middle, and 1 for the inside. And what you can do with these is this is actually writable, so you could write with pencil and then erase it and reuse it, or you could use stickers like DMC stickers and put them on there. Or, I mean, if you're just doing a small project like this, if it was me, I would just put my colors in here, and then I know what they are because there's only 3 colors. And if you know navy's your center or your outside, you already kind of know. So I probably wouldn't even write on it, but it just depends on the project. So those are new, and this is the same exact quality that you get in the Flea Market Flowers Floss Keeper. So this is the Kaleidoscope Floss Keeper. So I have this one, so it's empty. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put these on here later today. But I just wanted to show you how I picked. So I'll show you one more colorway. So like for her summer, she has 347 as the center, 676 as the middle, and then 3712 as the center. So you can just play with this, and if you like Lori's colors, if you had this pack, you could just use it as kind of a starting place. Now you could do, if you wanted, you could do center, middle, outside. It's just going to be more of a variegated look and not 3 different colors. So let me know if there's any questions on the Kaleidoscope book. That again is coming out in late June. Do I carry any 20 count Aida? So, I might have a couple. We have a couple. We have it, it's the white, it's the Petty Point dots. So there is a Petty Point dot by Zweigart, and we have those 3 in 20 count. I think those are the only 3 colors we have in 20 count. When will Lori's number stickers arrive? Let me look. They're in stock. Oh, no, they're not. Okay, let me put that on the list and I'll get you an answer next week. I think it's probably soon, but off the top of my head, I don't know. Is the Floss Keeper plastic? Yes, kind of. It's like, it's got a name, but I don't know the name, but it is definitely, I mean, you can't bend it. If you're stitching on a higher count fabric, like 36 or 40, you would only use 1 strand, so you probably just need 1 skein for Kaleidoscope. That's from Lori. And of course, when Lori stitches her Kaleidoscope, once she picks her thread, her fabric, because she's going to stitch along with me when we do the stitch along, and we'll show like her fabric, her floss, and everything. Would Kaleidoscope work in Christmas colors? Yes, I think it would. You could do red and green. You could do kind of a snowflakey color like 3 blues. What color Aida 14 count is recommended for Kaleidoscope instead of Cloud Lugana? So I'm going to use Fabric Flare Antique White. And I can put that next to the piece so that you can see how they compare. So this is Cloud 25 count Lugana by Lori Holt. So you stitch over 2. And I do know that when Lori makes hers, she's going to use a higher count just to show how if you use a higher count, your design is much smaller. I want to get into true crime programs and videos. What source do you use to find good programs? Okay, so I do follow Reddit. Okay, so Reddit is like a social media, and you can like subscribe to the things that interest you. So I subscribe to like a true crime one, and that's how I find a lot of stuff. I have subscriptions to Netflix, well, I actually just have Dish Network at home, so it's all like connected. So I just put it on my phone. HBO, Showtime, Sundance, and anytime something new is out, I will hear about it on Reddit, and so I will just watch it. But I just Google stuff. Like I'm interested in cults and stuff like that. So if I'm just like, oh, I want to know more about David Koresh, I'll just Google it. I mean, I'm just kind of, I'll just like get into a subject. I could probably tell you everything you want to know about that. I just Google stuff and then see what, but I'll watch stuff, even if it has a bad review. Like if I see on Reddit, people are like, oh, I really don't like it, I'll still watch it. And the only thing that I won't watch, I don't like anything drama. So when I was with my brother, him and his wife were like, oh my God, you gotta watch Yellowstone, it's so great. And then Lori's watching it. But I told my brother, I was like, no, it's drama, I can't watch it. So if it's not like real, I won't watch it, just because, and like I couldn't tell you any actor, actress, I like have no idea anything about Hollywood. All I just know Keith Morrison. Or like, you know, anybody that's like Dateline, I know all those people. But like, you know, anybody else, I don't know. What are some ideas for stitching on Galaxy Creationists Aidas? I love the fabric, but have no idea. Oh, I don't know. I think that would be hard. I really don't know. I kind of wonder that when we buy it. I'm like, what would you stitch on that? So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe something more artistic that you might be able to find on Etsy. Might be something, but I'm not sure what floss would stand out on it. So I really don't know. I would kind of Google modern cross stitch on Etsy and see what you see. How do you remove the floss from the floss keeper? I'll show you. I'll do this color because you can see it better. I just take it off. So it is, we divided these into probably strands of 8. Oh no, it's not even divided yet. So yeah, you would normally have this in sections of 8, and then I just put it in the hole, and we made sure the hole's big enough, and we made sure that it's not gonna break, or if you have something that's paper, it can kind of, so yeah, super easy. What does stitch over 2 mean? It means where you stitch over 2 squares, and that would be like a linen or an even weave or a Lugana. And we do have a video on our channel about it, and we will have more videos in the future also. I prefer to stitch on Aida. That's just my preference. What color are the frames for Kaleidoscope? We had those custom framed, and I'm going to tell you the name of the store, so if you want them framed exactly like Lori, you can go there. It is in Salt Lake City, and the store name is Craft Center of Fine Stitchery. And we listed that in the book, and the reason she had it custom framed instead of framing it herself and painting it is we ran out of time. So sometimes if we run out of time, that's kind of what we have to do. Can you show fabric flare antique white against a true white? Sure. I have to find it though. Here's the antique white. I don't know that we have a true white up here. I'm kind of looking around at all my samples to see if we have anything. But there is no modeling. I'll open it. It's just, see, that's the back actually. So this has nothing on it. And then this is the front. So you can, they screen print, and you can tell what side they screen print on because this is a screen printing. So you'll always want to stitch on the side that has this font. So this is kind of just plain Aida, and then this has the dyed effect. I don't think it has a modeling look, but maybe it slightly does. Very, very, very light. I would consider it just plain white. What is Linda cloth? Linda cloth is an even weave, and it's similar to Monaco, and it's 27 count, and it's where you would stitch over 2, and I have not used it. We do have it in stock, but I have not used it before. I recently found some monk cloth at a quilt shop. Do you know anything about it? So it is similar to Aida, but it's very, very soft. So you could stitch on it just like Aida. I've never used it, and I'm not exactly sure exactly what you use it in. We haven't carried it before, but I don't really know much about it. It looks really nice though. I mean, it looks nice. It's just, it might be hard for me to stitch because it's so soft. Laura is asking, do you press your cross stitch once it's done? I'm also thinking I should press before. So I don't press before, but I do press after, and I just press right on my piece. I'm sorry, actually, how do you use that cross stitch key? I need a tutorial. Oh, we have a tutorial on our channel, so you could just look on our channel, and we do have a video on it. And then I want to show you our Serendipity, and I'll tell you how much money we have raised. So we're going to look up how much money we've raised. Oh, there we go, $76,139. So yay, it all goes directly to Make-A-Wish. We just released last week row 5, so I went ahead and got that finished. And this one took me quite a bit of time actually. Let me look at and see how much time it took. It actually took more than the other ones. So I just have to find it in my book. Let's see, page 8. This took me 3.5 hours. So most of the other ones took me like 2 or 3 hours. This took 3.5. And on June 1st, we will have row 6. So that's exciting. Thank you everyone who has donated. And this one's funny because I have 2 needles on it, and Denise was like, why do you have 2 needles? And I was like, I don't know, probably just dropped one or something, I don't know. And literally, I just put it in my bag just like this. Just fold it up, or you could roll it like this and just put it in your bag. Just like that. The next thing that I worked on this week is Shine On, which is in this bag, and this bag is from Christy at Crosshatch Quilts on Instagram, and Lori gave it to me as a gift. So this is the Shine On cross stitch from the Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee book. So this is based on the quilt, and this is week 11, and this will be week 12. So we'll show you real quick the week 11 and week 12, so you can see that. And let's see, this is my beekeeper, and so you can see this is what you can do on the Floss Keepers by Lori. This is the Beekeeper by Lori, and this is just my label maker that I just, because this is Cosmo, I don't have stickers for Cosmo, I just use my label maker and put them on the back. And this one is where I'm at. So I actually did not finish. So after this live stream, I'm going to finish this right here. And the reason I didn't finish is there were like 5 baseball games this week, and this is 18 count. This is actually, let me tell you exactly what color it is. Let's see. This is 18 count antique white by Witchell. So this is antique white by Witchell. This is antique white by Fabric Flair. But this is 18 count. And I cannot see 18 count. So being at baseball games, I just could not see this. So I never could take it to my baseball game, which is why I got a lot of other stuff done. But it'll get done today. And I did start this, which is part of next week. So I'm a little bit ahead on next week's, but a little bit behind. But by next week, I will be caught up. I just cannot see those holes at a baseball game. So there's that. And then a couple other things that I started, and this is where I got ahead of my schedule. This one I'm so excited about. So let's see. So this one is calendar crates. So on this one, I just threw everything in my bag. And this one I actually have my needles, because I actually took this bag with me to my nephew's graduation. And I thought if I drop a needle, I need to be able to get a needle. So I put my whole thing of needles in here. And I started this 2 days ago. And this is about 3.5 hours. So I did part of this at before his graduation started, and then I did the rest of this last night at a baseball game. And it's black chalkboard, black Witchell 14 count, and I can see it. I can see it better than white, to be honest. And so I got all this done last night, and I already did this piece, which is the extra piece. I already did that part. So I had done that already. So I'm just going to finish this. I should be done with this by the middle of June. And so if you're in the club, we have 2 different clubs. One comes with fabric, one comes without. It has shipped to you. And if you want to see August, she did a sneak peek on Stitching with the Housewives. Priscilla and Chelsea showed it on Saturday, if you want to see a sneak peek. And then I do have some framed finishes. Oh my gosh. I have 2. So I'm so excited. So the first one is Trucking Along May. And Priscilla finished it. Look how cute it is. I love it. And I love it because it's wood, so I can just stand it up. And so on the back, I put my little library card. And so on this one, I put Piggy on the front. And so when I stitched Piggy, I stitched, let's see his colors. I can't see them. Can you click into it? Let's see. I used Tea and Biscuits for the body. And then I used the same blue as over here. And then I used Black Coffee for his ears and his face. So that's my first framed finish. And then my next one is April, Sampler of the Month. And this is by Country Cottage. So I just finished May. Now this one did have back stitch. So that's why I was saying on May I didn't have any back stitch, but this one I did. And it looks okay. I'm always kind of critical of my like back stitches and French knots and colonial knots, but I'm excited. And this is the frame that everyone has been asking about from Family Tree Frame Company. and we think that they're going to ship this week. So that'll be exciting. And then I'm going to answer questions before I keep going. How is your son's baseball team doing? Okay, so they are in the playoffs, and last night they were tied. And then they started losing again, and then it went to rain delay, and we were there for like 45 minutes, and then eventually they canceled the game. So tonight they're going to finish, but I don't think they'll win, and it's double elimination, and so they have won one and lost one, so they're probably out tonight, I would guess. But then he's excited because his high school, he's not in high school, he's in elementary school, but the high school does a clinic for elementary schools, so he signed up for all the baseball stuff in the summer that the high school's offering. Would flea market flowers look good on 32 count lamb's wool linen? Yes, that would look amazing. Do you have a tutorial for random single stitches on a pattern like the green dots on fresh cut above the flowers? We do have one. Just Google confetti stitches, Fat Quarter Shop, and we're going to include that as part of our beginner series also, so we'll have another one. Did you watch The Staircase? Yes, that documentary was re-released on Netflix. I watched it years ago when it came out, and then again. And I would say, in my opinion, he is very guilty. And I do feel really sorry for his children. If you can look at interviews of his children, some of his children are adopted from the woman that he killed, or allegedly killed, convicted of killed. I mean, I know he did get off on an Alford plea, but I think that he killed both of his wives. That would be in my opinion. What color Aida can I use for Kringle? That one I ended up, when we got back from Needlework Expo 2 years ago, when that came out, I couldn't find an Aida that I thought would look good, so I ended up using 30 count. It's somewhere on the blog. I can't remember. It's not in that book. It's in a previous book. But man, if I had to go back, I'd try to find an Aida because that's been really difficult. When will you be getting Kermit from Picture This Plus? It is on order. I have no idea. So what that company is doing is they're 6 months behind, and anytime we sell out, that day I order, and it takes 6 months. So we can put that on next week's list to follow up and ask them when we will be getting that, and we will have that answer next week. Do you display cross-stitch pieces all throughout your house or in a few rooms? Okay, so that's a two-part question. The first part is yes, and I put most of it in my living room. And I put a couple, like there's a piece where, like on Kevin's nightstand, I just kind of put them wherever. Sometimes they go in my kids' room. If my kid likes one, I'll let them have it if it has glass, or if I tell them they can't touch it. And quilts, I do have throughout my house. So I always have them on the back of a couch. Well, there's only one. We have 2 couches. So on the back of both couches. And then I have those buckets that you can get from like Magnolia. They're called I got them years ago when Magnolia was really, really popular. So, or they have like wood buckets, brown buckets. I just roll them up, and then I just have them in closets all over the house. And then there's a couple that my kids use. I have them in my bedroom, like in my chair. I have them kind of everywhere. I do not like French knots either. Thinking of using beads. How should I figure out the size for the June sampler? You know, I don't know. I know that you can get Mill Hill beads. What I have turned to instead of French knots is I've been doing colonial knots, and I learned that from Cheryl, and we actually recorded it and did a video on our YouTube channel on it. But I have been doing colonial knots, and the one thing that I do is I pull them out. If I don't like them, I just rip them out, pull them right out. So I just go as slow as I can. And I do try to do those when I'm a little bit calm, or I know that I can like do all of them at one time. So like I can sit down and for that full hour do all of them so that it will look consistent throughout my piece. Because I feel like if I did a knot today and then I did a knot tomorrow, they might not be consistent because I'm not great at them and I don't have a lot of experience with them. I don't trust my consistency. Did you watch Down the Hill? Yes, I've actually met the parents at CrimeCon 3 years ago, both, and I feel really bad. I don't think it will ever be solved. I do think they have DNA. They haven't actually like officially said, but I think they only have, I'm guessing, from what I've listened to podcasts, I've listened to so many things on that. I think they only have a trace amount, or they only have the kind that you just get off your skin. I don't think they have enough DNA to solve it. But gosh, I hope and pray for them. They're the nicest people, both sets of parents, and I just don't know how that's not solved. But small, I mean, you know, I think they've done, I don't think they have not tried to solve it. It's just sometimes bad luck, I think. Loved Cottontail. When will the next patchwork be out? June. It's really nice. And we're getting it all kitted up so I can start it. Ashley Monroe. My favorite true crime is Susan Powell and Branch Davidians. What's yours? Okay, so Susan Powell, that one I find super disturbing because that was, that could have been prevented. She could have lived. Her children could have lived. A lot of people made mistakes in that. Branch Davidians, yes, I was in college for that. I'm also think, gosh, I like all of them. Heaven's Gate's pretty interesting too. I watched all of them. I do think, though, that the Oklahoma bombings started a lot of the things that happened after, like Ruby Ridge, like Branch Davidians, and a lot of things were handled wrong on both sides, and I don't think there's a right or wrong answer in any of those. But yeah, it's all very sad. If we sign up for calendar crates, will we receive July or August? You will receive August. And if you would like July added, you can email service@fatquartershop.com with your order number. So I was going to show a couple different things based on some questions and some feedback we got. So we've got the floss flowers. And we also have FlossBitties. So I'm going to go over FlossBitties because we want to have a lot of options for you. This is Lori's options. And then my option from Fat Quarter Shop is our FlossBitties. So everything, I want everything to be cute. So we came out with these first. These are our Stitchy FlossBitties. So you can get these at your local cross stitch store. And on one side there are, okay, so there's 20 in each pack on all of these. 4 designs, 5 of each design in the pack. And this is how different, I'm showing you some different ways to label them because that's the question that we got. So you can either put the number from the DMC pack that's right here, and you can put that on the front. You can put it here, 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 or here. I mean, there's no like right or wrong. You can even put it on the back. You can put it here, here. You can put it anywhere and it will stay on. It does not come off. I mean, it's not, the sticker's really good. You can also get a label maker. I have just a plain P-Touch by Brother, I think, and you could put that on there. And you can do that for either DMC, Cosmo, any of the. So this is our FlossBitties. You can either put your floss on this way or this way. Now, what I prefer to do is as I'm working on a project, I leave my floss this way. When I'm done, I will put it on this way and then save it so that this doesn't get all tangled up if I come back to it 3 years later. So those are our Stitchy FlossBitties, and this is the package. So super cute. And after those FlossBitties, we have done some others. So this one is just my type. And so if you're looking for different designs, we're going to have a lot of different designs because these are just like a thicker plastic. We didn't want to do paper because if you use paper too much, the hole will eventually fall. So this is another way. The other one was DMC. This is Classic Colorworks. So you can just put that tag on the back over the logo right here because you want to cover up, you know, you don't want to cover up the cute part, and then you'll always know what color it is. And if you're done and you want to save it, you could just save it like this because most people do keep their hand dyed like this and store it this way. And if you want to see how I store my DMC, I do have a video on our channel on a cross stitch storage. We also have a Halloween version called Fright Night. And these are the designs. So we're just giving you a lot of options for whatever works best for you. And then this is how you would store Weeks Die Works. And that one just has a smaller tag. And then of course, Sail Away, which we're using right now. These are so cute. That little crab's gonna get you. And then this is Color and Cotton. And you could also put your leftovers up here too. And then my favorite of all of them is our Santa Baby. And if you're in the Stitch Quarterly, you would have gotten these. It's so cute. And that is Gentle Arts. So any of the fancy flosses will work on these. So I just want to show you that. And if there are any questions on that, let me know. I'll answer questions now. Sorry. Are you making a holder case for the FlossBitties? Yes. Should be out 3 to 4 months. Is the next stitch card on the schedule? Actually, the next 10 stitch cards are on the schedule. So we have scheduled everything out through 2023. So everything is already scheduled. The next stitch card is stitched. I showed it last week. It's little girls. It's I, set I, and then J, whatever Lori designs, it will be there. But everything is scheduled out. And when Lori has her ideas, we just write them out. And then when she's ready to color them, we color them. Erin is saying, do you have tips or a strategy to share when changing the color scheme of a project? Yes, I do have tips. Let's see, do we have the board? Can I have that board? So kind of what I do, this will be just kind of an example. This is how we picked this one. So I just start with some colors. So this, for example, is the Kaleidoscope floss pack. And I wanted to decide how to get to mine. So I had originally thought, I just start playing with colors and oh, does this look good? And then I'm like, okay, that's a little too much. It's just a little too strong. So then, I just literally play. And then I'm like, okay, those are too close. And then I'm like, oh, well, I really do like aqua. So I like that pink, okay. Does aqua look good? Because we kind of were going to go with this. And then I was like, well, that's too green. I literally just play. You just play. You just get some floss and play. You can just go sit at Joann's and just kind of play with the floss. There's not very many people usually in the floss section. And then I did think about using this color too. I thought about doing like these 3. So I literally just sit and play. And just take your time and don't be afraid to, like if you pick this, because this would look really good. Pick this, set it aside, come back the next day. If it still looks good, then you're good to go. If not, I would just try again the next day. So just literally play. Let yourself just play. The new Country Cottage sampler for July uses the series colors, so Uncle Sam is really tealy. Will you change yours to traditional? I probably won't. I'll probably keep it. But I think if you want to change it, you definitely should. What magnification is your light? Okay, so I'm going to grab my light real quick. It's right here. It is the, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's right here. What is it called? Halo Go. Sorry. I'm like, what's the name of it? I think it's a 3.0. So this is what I use. So it goes with me everywhere. That's why it was in the room because. And the light is out, actually. It's not charged enough because I used it in my car last night. So there's no light to it that I can show you because it ran out this morning when I was stitching with it. And it just folds up. And let's see, the glasses that I use are also 3.0. And those are just, I bought them online at caddis.com. I don't know. I don't wear them as much because Kevin makes fun of me. Not in a bad way, just, Okay, actually it magnifies 2.25. I'm wrong, 2.25. What is your favorite fancy floss and why? Also, besides DMC, which brand makes the most colors? I like all of the floss. Really, I kind of just depends on the project. Like with Aura Floss, if I only needed 4, I already had some oranges, so I was like, I'll just use our floss. So I kind of go with what do I already have that I can use. I like all of them. But like, for example, I think Gentle Arts makes the best aqua by far. I mean, I don't know the exact name, but if I can get access to that Gentle Arts, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to use aqua. You know, I think the best blues or classic color work. So just whatever I think looks the best. And if I already have something, I'll start with that. And if I like what the designer has, I'll just use what they use. Kimberly, are you listening to Confronting Columbine? Click on it. No, but I will. I will write that down, and it's about the survivors. Yeah, I will listen to it. Happy Camper is our previous finish feature. So I stitched this in August 2019. The designer is Lori Holt. And this is stitched on 25 count oatmeal Lugana vintage cloth. And Piggy's in the back. I don't know what color he is there, but he's not tea and biscuits. I think that's caramel actually. And Priscilla finished this for us. And if you want to know how she finished it and what she finished it with, just go to her blog, and we have linked her blog below. So Lori's the designer, Priscilla finished it, and this was before I gave up on 25 count cloth. I'll eventually go back to it, but I consider 2021 year of Aida, so. And our club feature today is fabric flares. So I'm in this club, and this was sitting on my desk, so I thought, well, why not show it? Because mine doesn't get shipped, it gets put on my desk. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it with what I just showed you earlier, so I don't have to buy anything. And then we wanted to give you a sneak peek. This will be June's red barnwood, and they're both 14 count. So this, I'm gonna try to do something on this. I have to figure out what I'm gonna do. If y'all have ideas, definitely comment and let me know. And then we do have a section where we're calling it the follow-up section. And so the follow-up section is where I'm just gonna follow up with questions we got the previous week. So 32 count Belfast, sorry. Last week we had a question on when 32 count Belfast linen antique white would be back in stock. So we checked with Yarn Tree, and they are going to email us an ETA. They don't have an ETA yet, but they are going to get us that when they hear from the manufacturer. So I would assume it's going to be a little while out, since they don't know the ETA yet. And I did give the update already on the frames. So we're hoping that those frames from Family Tree Frame Company come in a week and a half or 2 weeks. And we did get a question on this. This is the May typography. We had the paper pattern, and we had a question on the PDF, and we do have this in stock now. So we have the PDF in stock. And another club feature and new feature both is Prim Stitch Series number 11. So this is Lori Holtz, and you can either stitch this individually or as one. And so here's ours. This, so I stitched 9 of them, and then Cheryl's stitching 3 of them, and we mail them to Lori, and she finishes them on her Prim fabric with her vintage trim lace, and this is her Prim fabric, and then this is her medium frame, and she painted it in picket fence, the color picket fence. And some other follow-ups and new items are, we got some questions about pale gray gingham fabric by Fabric Flare, if we could get the 16 and 18 count in. So we did. This is 16, this is 18, and they came in stock this week, so I'm able to show you those. So that's a follow-up also. The May Snapshot Club did just ship. So if you're in that club, and I stitched this last year, I love it. And this is just an 8x10 frame from Hobby Lobby. And all the information on this frame is on the blog somewhere. And if you're interested in making this without the fabric, but with the colors, we put on our blog the colors so that you could do that. And then 2 new charts from Priscilla and Chelsea. Berry Sweet came out Friday. Farmers Market Tier Tray Tidbits came out yesterday, and I love that one. It's so cute. That would look so cute. And then this, let's see, this little Scarlet Sky Designs mason jar found on Etsy, because I know that there's going to be some questions. I actually need to buy a couple of these. And then Red, White, and Bloom by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread arrived. And we got a lot of questions on that one. I really like this one. It's a sunflower on top of a flag. And then we also got all of Teresa Kogut's new patterns. And Teresa has a YouTube channel called Teresa Kogut's Creative Whims if you want to check out her. This is Tilly Goat. And she showed this about 9 months ago on some of her artwork and some of her punch needle. And she asked for votes, I believe, if I'm remembering right, on which ones to produce. So I do think Wilbur is going to be super popular, just based on those comments that were out earlier. Oh, it was cute. And then this is Silhouette's Quaker, and Cheryl will be stitching this one at some point. So you will get to see this all stitched up. And I think it's all 2 colors. I think it's this color and then the little green accents. And of course, when Cheryl stitches it, we'll let you know what floss and whatever, what fabric and floss she uses. And this is her new booklet. It's called For the Love of Nature. Now, if you search For the Love of Nature on our site, you will also see that she has a fabric collection coming from Riley Blake. And that is on the Coming Soon page. And it is, so you can kind of mix and match that. And the thing that I'm most excited about is we just got a huge shipment from Riley Blake of Lori Holt's vintage cloth. So I'm going to show you the ones that came and the ones that are new. This is Heritage 25 count. It is kind of like a brown bag look. It's 25 count, and she has a brand new chart that is going to be coming out very, very, very soon. She's actually framing it right now, and it was stitched on Heritage. And it looks really nice. You're going to love it. And that's her 25 count. Her Aida, these are all restocks. So these are things we either ran out of and got more of, or we just got more of. Now you're going to notice these are new packaging. So when you order, you might get this packaging, or you might get the original packaging, but it's the same exact product inside. So these are all 14 count. This is Shadow, which I've used on lots of items. It's a somewhere between a white and a gray. This is Breeze. Malted Milk, which I can guarantee is the #1 requested, so that one will probably sell out the fastest. This is Feed Sack, which I showed you fresh cut on today. So those are the Aidas. So again, we've got Shadow, Breeze, Malted Milk, Feed Sack. Now I'm going to show you the 25 counts. Now this one is Heritage, so this one's the new one. And this is the older packaging. The new packaging, this is Pebble, 25 count. And just remember, when you get it, it doesn't matter what packaging you get, it's all the same. So this is Pebble, Parchment, Shadow, and I've used Shadow a couple times, and Cloud. So that's super exciting because we get so many questions on, when are we going to get more of Lori's stuff? So we just got a big shipment in. So I just wanted to show all of it to you one more time. I mean, I've shown it to you a million times before. And then I'm going to answer questions. Would you consider making a floss pack in your colors for Farmhouse Christmas? Sure. Denise will do that. She says yes. And on that, okay, so we will do a pack, and we will put in there the number of skeins that's called for on the pattern. But if you use a different count fabric than Little House Needleworks calls for, you might need 1 or 2 more skeins, but we're just going to put in what I started with, and I just started with what she had listed on her website. And I'm using 14 count, which is larger, so I might run out, but so far I haven't even got close to running out. How many designers do we carry? We try to support as many as we can. So what we do is if we like something, we buy it, and if their stuff sells, we'll continue carrying it. If it is not a great seller, we kind of let it die off. So we do listen to customers when they want certain things, we will. So we try to support as many as we can. What is the difference in regular 14 count and 14 count even weave? It's the same. So, okay. So on here, it says 14 count even weave. I would ignore the even weave and the 3706. 3706 is a Zweigart code. Even weave, Aida's all even weave. So just pretend that it says 14 count. That's what I would pretend. I'm looking forward to getting the pebble fabric, but was wondering what's the difference between that and Venetian stone. So I'll show you. So I'm gonna actually open this. And so this is Pebble 25 count by Lori Holt. I'm gonna try to put this where you don't see any stitching. And this is Venetian Stone by Witchell. And so I would say this one's grayer, but I mean, they're pretty similar. Will you have chicken salad cross stitch to match her quilt? Well, Lori's in the chat, so she can answer. But if she wants to, then yes. If she doesn't want to, then no. For us beginner, okay, can you tell me the difference between Monaco, Lugana, and even weave? So Monaco is a brand within DMC. So DMC created Monaco years and years ago. It is you stitch over two. And they would sell bolts, just like fabric bolts at Joann's. So it was a great way to, like for Priscilla and Chelsea, they would go in, buy a full bolt, and they would dye it whatever color they wanted, and that's how they can keep their expenses down, because cross-stitch can be a very expensive hobby, and that's one of the things they talk about on their channel is how they keep it affordable, is they just dye it themselves. But since DMC sold a couple of years ago, they don't make it as much. So they don't make the bolts, they don't make black, and whatever they make, we carry. So it's just an even weave, meaning the strands going this way and the strands going this way are the same. If you have linen, it's not even weave. It is more textured, and we're going to also cover that in our beginner series, so we go more into it. But I mean, I'm kind of I was trying to think of where it is. So this is Prim. I don't have a piece that's not stitched right now. So this is what I have. So this is Aida. This is Lugana. This is Prim, and this is beautiful Beige. Yay, thank you for info on the Belfast White. Yes, we wish we had a better answer though. Like, we wish we actually had a date. How long do most projects take you to stitch from beginning to end? I can show you right now when I find my planner. Let me find it real quick. Who knows where all this stuff is. There it is. Okay. So let's look and see. Sorry. So it goes like sew by row was 32 hours. A lot of them are 8 hours, 24, 16, 17, 12, 6, 12, 4. It just depends. 3, 8, 6. I mean, but I do this specifically. So next time, okay, so for calendar crates that's small, it took me 3 hours. So that's great to know, because when August calendar crate small comes in, I'm going to say, okay, I got 3 hours. Let's do it. And try to, it's just a way for me to schedule my time. Now, if I didn't do this for business, there's about a 0 chance that this would be here. The reason it's there is because I have to plan my time, because I have to come every Wednesday with a lot of stuff done, and I have to be able to schedule that within my job, my children's schedule, my schedule. So I would say 8, 6, I don't know. Can you mix floss brands? Yes. And then there's a question from Sandy Taylor, and she said, what frame is that? So on that question, if you want to comment in the final video and let me know what project, we can answer you. And I just want to give a big thank you to everyone for watching today. We would love for you to like us, comment, and subscribe. On Instagram, you can follow us at FQS Stitch. On Facebook, you can also follow us on FQS Stitch. And on YouTube, you can follow us here. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Wednesday.